Are you happy that's strong enough then? Pretty chuffed with that, I just did a massive hole.
It's a bit funny, this bracket. It looks like a pipe bomb or something.
Welcome back. If you missed the last few episodes, we have been bunkered down in a marina in Panama, fixing our engine for the past few weeks. But with that all back up and running, it was finally time to collect a package which we had literally been dreaming about for years. Click subscribe and maybe grab a glass of water in this episode. Hint hint. Enjoy.
Got it.
We're pretty excited about this.
We're really excited about this. I'll explain. Should we just unbox it and then we'll explain some stuff so that you can see what it is. At the moment it's just boxes. That's not that exciting. Got a lot to install here.
I can't wait. It's actually gonna be so much fun. We haven't done a big install since, well, not this big, probably since all the batteries.
Yeah, in Aruba.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
You've probably guessed by now, but this is in fact a Watermaker. Ah! As you know, we have 500 litres on board at the moment. We have a 200 litre tank, a 175 litre tank, 150 litre tank, and six
jugs.
25 litres each.
50. No.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, 25. Sorry, you are right. Yeah.
Got you there.
So 300 altogether.
Yeah, so
500 altogether. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, we've got 500 litres of water, and this did us great all through the Caribbean, in Europe, and to be honest, we didn't have a need for a Watermaker back then. It was fine going to marinas. It did limit us at times. I know we've got a few videos up there where we run out of water and kind Samaritans give us some of theirs, but we're in the Pacific now, and whilst we are coastal hopping for a little while, we are doing a big Pacific crossing next year. So we needed a Watermaker.
And we needed it now because when we go up to Costa Rica, the customs up there get even more harrowing than it is here. And when we get up to Mexico, you can't drink and you can't refill your boat there with any of the taps because you can't drink of any of the water there anyway.
From what we've heard.
From what we've heard, which we're fairly sure is true, but this is kind of the last opportunity that we've got to be able to install one of these, so we kind of bit the bullet, didn't we, and got one finally. And
also, I will just say, living on a boat with limited water is completely fine. Like, it's doable. Being in a marina and having a little bit more water on hand just to have, you know, a good shower or to be able to wash your dishes with fresh water rather than salt is such a nice feeling. And on passage on the Atlantic we had one proper shower, that's where we washed our hair, and it's so morale boosting just to have fresh water that you can rinse off the salt with. It makes you feel a ton better, so for us to be able to have a Watermaker and have a bit more water, it's just going to dramatically improve our standard of living on board.
So we'll go into exact details about why we got a Rainman and exactly this model and the extras that we got with it, but a big driving force behind why we got it is because of Mads from Sail Life, who has had one of these on board for a couple of years and can't recommend them highly enough. So it was kind of between this and one other brand, and this just seems to kind of tick all of our boxes. And
yeah, this is a really good quality Watermaker. I think it's meant to be one of the best, and we were kind of thinking that if we were going to spend all that money on a Watermaker, we just wanted to do it once, do it right, and get one that we wouldn't regret installing.
Yes, of course.
Just quickly, for those who don't know what a Watermaker is, it essentially takes the seawater, the salt water, and through a high pressure pump uses reverse osmosis to extract the salt from it and give us fresh water. This means we can drink the sea! Woohoo!
This in particular one is a high capacity one which can make in between, I might not get this spot on, but around 100 to 150 litres an hour. We'll go into details why we got the high capacity one and why we're on AC and not 12 volt. But
so we just get installed.
First things first, we've got to actually figure out where this is all going to go. There's going to be one or two places. Ideally, what we want to do is get all of this, pretty much, besides one or two bits maybe, in under our bed in the aft cabin. Failing that, we're going to put it where the 150 litre tank is there. But ideally, we want to get it on the starboard side under our bed.
Because we've got a 500 litre fuel tank on the other side, which means that when the water tanks are empty, we're constantly leaning. So we want to get as much weight on that side. So I think firstly, so we just go strip up our bed and see if it fits.
Yeah, let's do that. This is going to be the problem child, so I think we'll take this.
Problem child.
We'll take this down there and see what we can do with it. Yeah.
Let's go. Before we launch into the install, we need to rewind to when we were hauled out in Aruba. We knew we wanted to add a Watermaker this year, so when we were waiting for the wind to die down or our rudder epoxy to cure, we added a water tank gauge. It would all be very well now being able to fill our tanks, but it was pretty vital to know when they were full or empty. Please fit, please fit, please fit, please. Oh yeah! Look at that!
Oh, it's literally touching the bottom there. That's perfect.
That's
literally touching the
Is
bottom.
it actually going to be bolted down okay?
Yeah, it will be just about. Look at that fit!
That actually couldn't be more perfect. And we're going to have a water measure for the first time ever, Zach.
Yeah. How's about that?
This is more than living.
Ooh.
Wow. That's too big. Oh, that's not.
That's good.
Perfect. Wow, it looks like it's always been there.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh!
It's working!
Oh, it's quite a full tank.
Zach.
Well done.
Happy?
Yeah, gosh, I can't believe we didn't have this. We're going to look back on this and be like, how did we survive without a water tank gauge?
I mean, it'll be close.
It's like a perfect fit, but look at the steering cables.
Secondly, lay it across here.
Yeah, I do think that.
Do you think it will fit there? I reckon it would actually go there. This is where things got a bit fiddly.
Is that the way we'd want it if it wasn't like that?
And despite trying every single possible angle,
There's no way.
it made much more sense just cutting the wood from above. Came out right. It's not perfectly straight, is it? But it's pretty good.
I think that's a really good job.
That end, swing around in, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we cut this one earlier and we've just spent about an hour and a half trying to manipulate this non-manipulatable, wow, look at that word, item. We've come to the conclusion that it would just be so much easier if we do cut this other side, because we need to mount this and the mounting holes are under these long tubes and we can't physically get to them if it's in like this.
There's not enough room to work with it there, so it's alright.
It's gonna have to come out, but this is really not that secure if we don't build it back up, so we will have to put some brackets and sort that out, but that's fine, we can do that. We've now mounted the mount for the membranes. That's a mouthful. And we're going to lift it in. We actually have these upside down. It doesn't seem like there's a way they have to go, so for us it just works better this way, where the pipes can come down so the floor can go on and there's no risk of any tube getting kinked or crushed. Oh yeah. The only negative to working in this space is obviously our quadrant is greased, heavily greased, and any time we come in here, it's just, we get greasy. Wow, it's fancy.
That couldn't get much better there.
That's so good, and it's in the centre of the boat.
Yeah.
With the membranes installed, it's time to move on to the high pressure pump.
This is our high pressure pump here, and something that you need to do before you install it, you need to remove this red cap here. It's just in there for transportation reasons, and they've got this yellow one here that you're meant to put in. So this is a dipstick. Dry fit one. So I think like there, and then like level, like that. We know where the high pressure pump is going to be mounted now. We've got the base here, but the issue is the hull isn't flat in that area at all. So we're going to have to build this up a little bit, thickened epoxy it down to the hull itself, and then drill through it. So what I'm going to do now is make a bit of a triangular support on here, so this will sit as level as it can, because in the instructions it says it needs to sit level. So we're going to try and do that, but it might not be perfect.
This is for the control panel, and I love it so much when a company provides these. Our windlass also provided them, and it just makes life so much easier. So I'm just going to cut out these, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, so I have cut out the template, and it's going to go here, and that'll be perfect. And then it's really easy because there's a big hole through there which other steering cables and exhausts and wires go through, so that will be really easy to run. I'm so excited! Chuffed with that, I just did a massive hole. And there's mould. Woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. Wow. That's so dirty in there. What the heck, Zach? Holy guacamole. I'm actually going to get the scrub daddy on that. It's actually a perfect fit. I'm so stoked about that. Oh.
Nice.
Good first day on the install. The control panel is almost in. I just need to do some fiddling at the back. We have installed the membranes, and we've been working, well, Zach's mainly been working on building up the platform for the pump because it needs to be on a level surface, and the bilge is all angular and it's kind of hard. So tomorrow we're going to buy some epoxy and we're going to start building up with that. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go, but it is a pretty tricky space to fit. But we're making it work, and it's going to look so good when it's done.
What are you doing, Becca?
Well, there's two high pressure hoses here, and I'm running them through following the breather tube for our rudder tube and the exhaust, and following them through to the back of the control panel down there. I think they might be a bit long, so I just need to look into whether we can cut them and adjust them, but if not, we can just do a few loops in here and I'm sure it'll be totally fine.
Whilst Becca cracked on with that, I set reusing the old aluminium bars we took off our solar panels in Aruba to fashion a support for the wooden blocks under our bed. I've got all the brackets made and cleaned and tidied up.
Are you happy that's strong enough then?
Yep.
It won't pivot but when it's got the board on.
It can never have that much weight on it because half the weight's going to be on here or someone.
Yeah, and the board is going to be on it. I think it's so fine. Good job, Bob.
Here I go.
Oh, that's a fail. That will stop so much. Yeah? Okay, don't suffocate. I'm shutting this door.
Yeah, it's not very good.
So Zach has sanded that lovely section. I don't know if the brush will fit. Oh. Okay. I do have an idea. Is this engineering?
How are you going to stick that down then?
Trust me, there's a method. So I'm in the bilge, holding my hand with a rag on the corner to make sure none of the liquid drains into the bilge. We've got a fan going just in case the liquid, well, to prevent the liquid from becoming a hot mixture, because when it becomes hot it bubbles and doesn't set good. So that was really bad English, doesn't set good.
Your English doesn't set good.
Anyway, I'm just sat here waiting for this, but it's a fine balance because if we cool it, it's going to take a while to cure. But then, yeah, I'm just going to have to sit here for a while basically and wait for it to at least become tacky so I can take my hand away. It's just cracked. I thought that wasn't going to be that big a hot mix. In Aruba, it bubbled rather than cracked, and I don't know why that was. Maybe it was because we had thickener in it, so the heat escaped through the bubbles rather than through cracks. I'm not sure. I really just don't know enough about epoxy to know why it would do either way. The issue is we wanted enough of a mixture to have down so we then could add the next layer and have a chemical cure, but it's still too hot for the next layer. But it's not, we'll be honest, I can touch it with my hand for a few seconds, like it's not hot, so why did it crack? I think it will be fine. I mean, it's not like the rudder, it's not structural, it's not, well, I guess it is a bit, no, it's not boat structural, it's just, we don't want that thing sliding around. But with that, some wood, some bolts, like, it's not going anywhere. So I just did some research, and the reason it cracks is because it shrinks when it gets too hot, and it was just literally that. Most of it had set, it shrunk, and then it cracked. Different epoxies deal with deep pour, which apparently is what it's called, at different rates. So maybe West System just dealt with it better or bubbled as a result. But we definitely did pours that deep on the rudder and it was fine with no bubbles or anything. So maybe just, I don't know, maybe Seahawk just has different variables in it, and it is human error though. We caused this, it wasn't the product. Let me not blame the product. But it's fine, whatever.
Whilst Becca is epoxying, I'll explain why we went for an AC rather than a DC powered Watermaker. For those who don't know, AC is alternating current and runs off our inverter, and DC is direct current and runs directly off our batteries and doesn't use the inverter. Firstly, the AC makes up to 140 litres per hour, whilst the DC makes up to 34 litres per hour. This is 4 times more water per hour, despite it using approximately 3 times more power. We would rather put less hours on the high pressure pump, as this is one of the most expensive bits of kit in the system. Also, it's no secret that the high pressure pump makes noise, so we would rather run it 1 hour every few days rather than multiple hours every day.
We are up fairly early this morning. Zach is out filling water so we can level off, so we can start sanding the mound, that's what we're calling it, in our bilge. Get down in your hole, shout if you need anything, okay?
Yeah. Alright, let's do it.
The guy next door's getting into the Friday spirit. I don't mind it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Spot of painting.
It's had one coat and I'm just giving it another one, and hopefully that's enough. If not, I'll give it a third in a little bit, but it's not looking bad at all. These lines are just from the wood. Some paint will fill that. Yeah, getting there.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
Good job.
This is an aftershock. Not the prettiest, but
Functional.
very functional. about 6 PM and we are just pulling the boat apart to run loads of plumbing and wires. Well, no wires right now, but lots of plumbing.
This is going to be our brine overboard fitting. Thankfully, Rainman's actually supplied with the kit all of the right fittings that we need. That's going to fit beautifully in there. I'll put some PTFE tape around the threads here, cut there, put that in, double hose clamp, which they've also provided in here. And then this is very simple, it just plugs in like that. And that's the brine done.
My leg is the workbench. A quick 12-volt power supply and it was time to finish up the control panel.
Ooh. Nice. Alright, so we've got this bracket and this bracket. One's going to be for our auto flush and one's going to be for the pre-filter. The space that we've got to put these in doesn't allow us to use all 4 of the bolt holes or screw holes that they've got on here. So what we're going to have to do is drill 2 more holes through this and have it supported a little bit higher up. I think this would be absolutely fine. Ideally we would like to use these, but we just don't have quite the right space in the area which we're trying to use. So I'm going to modify these a little bit and go from there, but they are really solid, beautiful stainless steel brackets. So it's going to be a bit of a shame to drill into these, but I'm going to try and make it look as pretty as I can.
So I'm in the bilge and I'm going to mount the auto flush bracket. Zach added another 2 holes, and then I'm also going to mount the filter just here too. So this one first, I'm going to mark some dots, drill some pilot holes, then put it there and bish bash bobs. Bish bash bobs. Okay, so anyway.
Okay, so I think it's about day 3 of doing the Watermaker, and this is the fitting that needs to go from the fresh water into our tanks. And with our current tank fittings, they're about that thick, the hoses that go down into all of the tanks at the moment. So what we're going to do is tee it off here, so we're going to add another section in here. This goes to our bottom tank and this goes to our top tank. We're going to extend that with the best thing we could find here. This is going to go in between it. This is like a PVC extender. It's all plastic. It's not the best thing for the job, but when you're in a place like this and you can't get everything, sometimes you kind of got to make do with what you've got. But we're going to tap a hole into it with this 12mm drill bit that I've got here, and then thread this into it, and I think it'd be a pretty good fit. So I'm going to give that a go now. After a bit of fiddling, this is what we've come up with. So the water intake is going to attach to that, and then that's going to be water coming down from when we fill up our marinas, and this is going to empty into both our tanks. So yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but for what we need it to do, I think it's pretty much there. It needs a bit of tidying up, but yeah, that's pretty alright retrofitting. Could be a little bit straighter, but I don't think it'll ever leak, and it's definitely not coming out of there. You can see it's just sticking out of there.
It's looking good, Zach. Yeah.
It's alright, it's a bit funny, this bracket. It looks like a pipe bomb or something. But Not that I know how pipe bombs work.
Just don't be waving around customs.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Okay, so most of that Watermaker's installed now, but the last thing we need to do is install the saltwater intake. And we've been umming and ahhing about how to do this for a while. In hindsight, in Aruba, we should have really installed another skin fitting and sea cock for this, so it's got its own dedicated one. And we are going to have its own dedicated one. We were toying with the idea of removing one of the cockpit drains and teeing them off together, but we don't want to do that. We were also toying with a few other ideas, but I think we've landed on now of removing the toilet intake from one of the skin fitting sea cocks here, obviously giving it a good clean and everything like that with disinfecting and all of that, and just using the intake for this toilet here and not having the toilet going off it. The plus thing about this boat is that we've got two heads, so we've got another toilet in the front, and you can still use this one if you just pour fresh water down it. So when we get to Mexico, we'll add another one in a similar area to where we are right here. So the Watermaker's got its own dedicated one, and the toilet one still works. But for now, we're just going to have to make do with one saltwater flushing toilet, which is so fine. This is the new strainer. It's pretty much the only one we can get out here, but it'll do. It's a sea flow one. It looks very similar to the Vetus one that we've got, so we'll give this a go and see how it does. But the nice thing about this one is it's got multiple different size of hose adapters, which is really useful. I think we'll end up using the smallest one on here, but if we ever need to change it for any reason, it can fit other ones, which is great. So if you had one hose that needed to get reduced or increased, a good little bit of kit. So yeah, looks well made and everything, so we'll give it a go.
I will just say that the word toilet and freshwater don't usually go together for obvious reasons. But the fact is that our saltwater intake is purely just an intake, and with a one-way valve has never been contaminated with the output, giving us peace of mind and probably a happier tummy with this install.
We've done 2 holes for the water going to the actual Watermaker, which are these 2 here. This sea cock and skin fitting here on the white hose goes through here, through that gap, up through here. I need to shorten this up quite a bit, and then I'm going to connect up to here, and then that'll be done, and then I'm going to do the out. I'm back in our room now. The last thing that we need to do is run the auto flush hose to the tank. I just popped out and got 7 meters of this hosing, and yeah, we're pretty much there, which is really exciting. So final hurdle, I've got to run this all the way from here to the tanks, which is a bit of a distance, but fingers crossed I don't get into too many awkward things running this, because I think I might have to lift up a load of things, but fingers crossed. The hose is now run. You can see it going down here and around. I just need to connect this end up here onto here, and then everything will be done. It's a really hot day if you can't tell, so yeah, let's get this done. Sadly, it'll be another week until we tested it out, as the marina water was a little bit iffy for our liking. But our friends were about to leave on a Pacific crossing and invited us for a sail for the day. And after living in the bilge for the past few days, we jumped at the chance.
Are you excited for a day sailing on a catamaran?
Look at their anti-siphon.
Your sail at the 3rd reef is still way bigger than our sail area fully up. It's mental. There we have squirrels, and we have pigeons, and we have seagulls. And swans. Do you have swans? Ian and Gabby are just there learning how to use their new hydrogen that they've got installed. This sail is actually as a kind of test sail for their
little shakedown.
Yeah, shakedown sail for their Pacific crossing. And they installed a hydrogen. They want to run their Watermaker and test out just some little bits to make sure there's no hidden surprises when they throw the lines off for the 30-day passage. I think the craziest thing is that we're sitting at like 7.7 knots and it doesn't feel like we're moving at all. And I think in our boat at 7.7 you're like, it's feeling sporty. But this is dead calm and still, which is almost eerie.
More. So, like, I cannot get this jib in at all.
Wow, that was quick. Gabby, I hate saying goodbye.
Favorite cruises, we said.
I've been like dreading this one.
You guys can have so much fun.
Bye!
Okay, enjoy guys!